Hey friends, I hope this sounds okay. Today I want to talk to you about where I'm at and how I'm dealing. Today is for me an atrocious day when it comes to body image. So first I'm sharing this because I'm not different. This happens. And I know that I'm not going to live the rest of my life without this happening. So I was thinking, instead of just being in my own head about it and staying totally silent, I want to share with you what's going on. And I'm going to back up a couple days and tell you what I've been thinking about for a while is when my sister and I got to Hawaii, we were talking about someone that she knows with an eating disorder. And what my sister said to me, we were talking about my story, and what my sister said to me was, it's really interesting because when I hear you talk about your story, it differs from the people I know with an eating disorder because they've been through really hard relapses, really, really extreme relapses where they have to go back into treatment. And that hasn't happened with you. And I was never in like an inpatient or outpatient treatment for an eating disorder, but just the idea of relapse. And so I've really been thinking about that because anyone who believes that it doesn't come back, it's just not true. That's not true. That's not how it works. It does. It totally comes back. It's just a matter of how much power does it have? How much is it controlling your behaviors? It's not about whether or not it's present or not for the rest of your life. And it's not about if those thoughts and behaviors never come back, then you've succeeded. And if they come back, then you've failed. That's not how this works at all. And so that's number one. I just want to be really clear about that what we can do instead of trying to get out of it and not change it, but instead of trying to get out of it and eliminate it and pretend that it's not going to happen anymore, or even make that the goal, what we want to do is, as ironic and paradoxical as it sounds, be one with it. We can't fight it. We can't resist it. What we resist persists. So how do we be with it? I will tell you about my day today. I woke up, it was one of those, okay, so the spiritual part of me is it's a full moon tonight. Jupiter's some shit right now. I think in terms of astrology and the stars and stuff is coming up. That's number one. Two, I've been spending this time with my sister. We've just been talking about a lot of different stuff. It's bringing up a lot. There's just been a lot kind of floating around emotionally, mentally, a lot going on with work, a lot that I'm very excited about, looking forward to. It's the end of the year. It's the beginning of a new year. There's a lot going on for all of us, inevitably. And as Glennon Doyle posted the other day, it's anyone who struggled with eating disorders or disordered eating or body image, this week between Christmas and New Year's is a total shit show, which makes a lot of sense because in many ways an eating disorder is about, I'm going to stop saying eating disorder. I don't believe in that term. Any kind of emotional compulsive relationship with food is largely about control. And this is a week where, especially for me being on vacation, there's total lack of structure, lack of plan, lack of control. And so as a recovering control freak myself, that can be really triggering and difficult, consciously or not. So I'm not feeling that way. I'm not so stressed out because I'm on vacation. But I know subconsciously, psychologically, there is that energy there of not feeling tethered, maybe. And so I just have to be aware of that even if I'm not thinking that I'm stressed out, on some level deep down, it makes a lot of sense that would be true. So that's another note. But so I woke up this morning, and from the second I woke up this morning, I was just crying. I was just crying a lot about a lot of different things, but also nothing really specific, just feeling a lot of fucking feels. And I tried, I was with it. I was feeling it. I was not trying to ignore and deny it, but Then I noticed I was getting myself, I tried to do work. I was trying to like channel it into like creative energy. And I was really excited about this curriculum I'm building. And so I thought I could just, I could start doing work, and that usually makes me feel better and, you know, get stuff done. And so I started doing work, but I knew that it was from this place of fear and inadequacy and not doing enough and not feeling good enough. And part of the reason that I knew that was because I couldn't focus, I couldn't concentrate, I wasn't thinking well, I wasn't like flowing at all. I was just hitting a wall over and over again. So it's just getting like, my mood is just getting worse and worse. I can't even do work. All the things I'm excited about, I don't feel excited about. I'm in a beautiful place, having the best time, and I'm waking up crying, like, this doesn't make any sense, all this stuff, okay? So then I have the thought, just leave. Just get out of this situation. Do what you know you need to do. So I go for a walk. I just start moving because I can't be sitting at the computer anymore. Okay. And this is where it starts. This is, I'm not doing enough. I'm not good enough. And then it starts. I need to work out. I need to burn calories. I need to be thinner. I need to eat less. All this stuff is coming back. And there's part of me now that is observing all of it. And it's just like, wow, okay. So this is really what's coming up right now. And what was challenging for me. So now I'm getting like the urge, the compulsive drive to go for a run. So I can like move all this energy, but not just move all this energy, but burn all the calories and do cardio and do all of that. And so this is where it gets challenging. This is the difference between a bad day and relapse. I have to know within myself that going for a run and tracking my calorie burn is just, it's fake control. That's what I'm thinking of. Is Nicole Sachs has a podcast episode about anxiety and our lack of control. And one of the things she talks about is how the fake control can be cleaning your house. It could be burning calories. It could be any of those things where there's a deep-seated feeling of inadequacy. I'm not doing enough. And if we can just check the box of doing a workout or cleaning the house or something, it'll temporarily release that dopamine and make us feel like we're good enough for a second, but it's not going to get what we really need. And so I'm having this thought, and it wasn't really such a battle anymore, or at least today it wasn't. I just really felt that I knew this would make me feel better, but a much bigger part of me was like, honey, it's not. It's not. It feels like it is, and it's very convincing. That's why it's just like a drug, is it feels really like it will. It's very tempting, but you just have to know. You just have to know better. And so that's kind of what happened. And so, but there was part of me that was like, but I feel like if I do movement, it will help me mentally. Like, what will help me mentally? And there was, from the moment I woke up, actually, part of me that was like, just do yoga. It's been a couple days since you've done yoga. Like, just get to the mat, as they say. And so that's what I did. I just kind of posted up on the lawn somewhere outside and just started doing the flow. And while I was in child's pose, like right before starting yoga, the only thing that I was thinking is, for this hour or half hour or 45, whatever it's going to end up. Okay, sorry, my time limit came up and kicked me off Instagram. Mental health. I was just telling myself, like, I'm going to be really present. I'm just going to be with my breath and be in my body and not be thinking about anything. I'm not going to be thinking about what my body looks like. I'm just going to be here. And that's what I did for like 45 minutes or so. And the truth is, I felt like a completely new person when it was over. But the reason that I'm telling you this is because the challenge today was not falling into the trap of work out more, work out longer, work out harder, burn the calories, do cardio, eat less, all of that. It comes up, certainly. And every time it comes up and I don't obey it, I get stronger than it. I get bigger than it. I have more power than it. And I think it's just really important to talk about this, to just talk about this gray area where you're not necessarily going to rid yourself of the thoughts and the feelings for the rest of your life. And that's okay. You don't have to. It honestly, in my opinion, would be an unfair expectation of yourself that you're going to go the rest of your life without this stuff kicking up. It's just that you have to be able to observe it and see it and hear it and interpret it. What do I mean by that? What I mean is that you want to be able to know that when these things are coming up, it's just a sign. It's just a flag that there's stuff going on in you. And there was a point today where I just kind of felt like what I need to do to feel better is track the yoga workout that I did. And part of me was like, don't track it. Don't look at the calories. Don't look at anything. Don't look at how long you're working out for. Don't. Trying to fight it. And then there's this part of me that was like, if that's what you need to feel like you're going to fucking survive the rest of the day, then just do it. It's okay. Just do it. And that's what I did. I tracked my yoga workout. And by the end of it, I didn't give a shit what it said. I had no idea. I couldn't even tell you how many calories burned, how many minutes I was working out. I have no idea. Because by the end of the workout, it didn't matter. Because I just kind of allowed myself to be there. And know that this rarely happens. I mean, if you've been following me for a while, you know, like I'm the kind of person when my Apple Watch has a alert on it, like, hey, it looks like you're on a run. Should we track it? I'm like, fuck off, you know? Like, I don't want everything tracked because I know that it messes with my head. And I just have to be able to see that and kind of pull myself back into reality. So the other thing I want to say about this is that I think because of things like the body positive, health at every size, intuitive eating movements, which have a lot of really, really good components, really, really solid stuff. However, I think we kind of culturally swung the pendulum all the way to the other side. And what I mean by that is sometimes when we feel like we're struggling with our body image, there can be all this shame around that of we're not supposed to hate our bodies and we don't deserve to feel bad and all that stuff. And I think it's just important to clarify, you're right. We don't deserve it. But to feel like shit about yourself and then feel like shit that you feel like shit about yourself is just making the problem worse. And so I'm saying this because, like, what I was thinking before, I was lying on the couch and I said this to my sister. I was like, it's crazy how I was in the same body yesterday. And this is, if you struggle with body image, please hear this. This is the thought that goes through my head. I was like, it's wild how I was in the same body yesterday. So obviously the size has not changed. And yesterday, I was feeling pretty good. So crazy that I'm lying on the couch and I'm just looking at my body and I'm like, I am huge. I am huge. I feel ginormous. And so there's the reason I pull in like health at every size, body positive, etc., is because I'm sitting on the couch and there's that voice in me that's like, well, there's nothing wrong with being bigger, or that shouldn't make you feel bad. And I agree with that. It shouldn't make me feel bad. But what I think is important is if you have been inundated with the messages that I have in this kind of society and culture, I've been taught that there is a lot about being bigger that is bad. I don't believe that. if I'm choosing my own thoughts, that wouldn't be it. But I didn't choose the conditioning and the social component of this whole thing. And so I'm saying this because there is nothing inherently worse about being a bigger or smaller person. Like, that's not what this is about. I've been all over the size of the body size spectrum. And I've always been me, and that's not lost on me. But I just think we have to be telling the truth about when we feel like shit because we feel really big. Can we just tell the truth about that? Can we just tell the truth about that and make it okay to say? Because what I know about the brain science of this is that we learned very early on that being thinner was safer and that being bigger was dangerous, because that's the way the animal brain works, safety or danger. So if you feel like shit about yourself because you feel big or you look big, it doesn't necessarily mean that you bought into that and agree with that. It just means that you've been living in this society that conditioned you to feel that way around this. And that's not your fault. So I think that's important. Okay, so I'm like a little bit rambling right now, but I'm curious if you guys have any thoughts or comments or questions or anything. Put them here so I can respond, because let's make this a little discussion, conversation if you want. I'm super here for it. But these are the important things about it. One, it's never going to fully go away. You could have days, weeks, months, years without this popping up and being an issue. And then all of a sudden it's an issue again, because that's how it is, just like every other addiction, every other coping mechanism, every other thing that makes you feel a sense of safety and control, that fake control, or numbing or escape or distraction, any of it that ever worked, because of the hippocampus in the brain, it stored the memory that it worked. So if you, for example, going for a long run and burning a lot of calories made you feel better in that moment, your brain is brilliant and it stored that. And so the next time you get stressed out, it's going to say, I know, go for a run and burn a lot of calories. It's just trying to help. It's always just trying to help. It just doesn't know that, it doesn't know. It doesn't know beyond that immediate moment. And so my whole point is, you're going to have that primitive part of your brain that's trying to drive the bus. And the only thing we can do is not get rid of it and not eliminate it, but observe it and be really aware of it, become one with it. Don't judge it. Don't criticize it. And just notice, like, wow, these thoughts are coming up again. Wow, it's been a while. Or maybe it hasn't been a while. Maybe this is every day of your life. It's totally okay. You don't have to feel bad about it. It's just, don't get stuck in that trap of thinking that you really do need to go do more cardio or eat less food or whatever. That's what this is about. So, tons more to say on this, but that's where I'm at. And the other thing is, when I notice, so when I'm lying on the couch and I'm looking at my body and I'm like, wow, I literally feel like a whale. I feel like a literal whale. What do I do about that? And the answer to that is, as you know, I already went through this whole morning of like, I'm crying and feeling my feelings, etc., trying to like really be one with myself and give myself what I need and da-da-da. And then I did yoga and I felt a lot better. And then I had my lunch and I felt better and all this stuff. But I'm still sitting on the couch being like, whoa, this did not go away. I thought I was feeling better, but here I am in this body that feels massive and uncomfortable. And, oh, thank you for asking this. Lisa, how do we change the thoughts? This is exactly what I'm about to say. What I did was look at my body, see that, feel that, and then understand. It's not about necessarily changing the thoughts. It's just about being able to see beyond them. And again, interpret. If you're having these thoughts, it means something in there needs to be felt. It means there's stuff coming up that has nothing to do with the body and nothing to do with food. And that's where it's get to a journal or meditate, yoga, whatever it's going to be for you to get you back inside feeling what you really need to feel. But the other thing that I think is the most important about this is when I'm in that moment and I'm sitting on the couch and I see what I see and I feel how I feel and I think what I think, I have to look at that and say, okay, we're not staying here. That's it. And I did a video on body image. It's on YouTube. It's the same. Look for that. Search for that if this is resonating with you. But my point is, you will have days where you're just sitting on the couch feeling this way. And the only thing that I could do, literally, I got up off the couch and came here and just moved and got myself out of the headspace, because you're either going to be feeding it or you're going to be walking away from it and taking your power back. Because I could sit there this is where we have power. This is where we have power and choice. These thoughts are going to come into my head. There's not very much I can do about that. I've accepted that. I'm surrendering to that. I'm okay with that. So when I sit on the couch and I'm feeling this, I have to know I have a power and I have a choice. That is, I can stay here and I could just keep critiquing my body over and over and over again. I could keep looking at all the things I don't like, all the things that are making me uncomfortable. I can just sit and wallow in it and make myself feel worse and worse and worse. Or I can say, wow, crazy. I was in this body yesterday and I didn't feel this way at all. This is such a mindfuck. But I don't want to sit and feel this way. So I'm going to get up. I'm going to stop looking at my body. I'm going to get out of the mirror and I'm going to do something with my time. I'm going to do something with my life. I'm going to do something. I'm going to move out of this headspace into another one, or not even into another one, just into a different activity. Because at that point, again, you're either feeding it by staying there or you're taking your power back. So that's the way I think about it. And again, on top of that, it's being curious about what is coming up emotionally. What is really going on inside? Because the food, the weight, the body, all of it is a distraction. You just have to know that. Because when it comes up, it's going to be very convincing. That's the thing. It's very convincing. It's very tempting. It's very powerful and effective. It's trying to distract you and it does a great job. So you just have to know that. It's like, again, it's like a red flag that when these thoughts are coming up, it's like, whoa, my brain is really trying to distract me from something. I wonder what that is. And then you go inside. And that's kind of what my morning was like. The first couple hours of this morning of just like crying and feeling things. And again, it's like you have to just decide that you're not going to stay there all day. And that this is not actually. So that's that. You have to just decide that you're going to live your life. So I think I'm going to leave it here because now it's time to go to the beach. And, right, going to the beach. Hey, Joe, going to the beach in a bikini right now on a day with the worst kind of body image. Like, bring it. Bring it. That's what this is. I don't need to hide physically, mentally, emotionally. I'm just going to step into it and say, this is how I feel today. And this is how I feel like my body looks today. But it's crazy because I'm sure tomorrow it'll feel like it looks totally different again. It's all about what's in here. Okay. I love you guys. Do you have any questions? Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Challenging the thoughts. Yes. Challenge the thoughts. You have power. Your thoughts are not yours. I mean, they're yours, but they're not you. Your thoughts. Okay, I reached my time limit here again. So that means I really need to go. I love you guys. And this will stay up for a while, probably. Okay, the end. Find more on YouTube. If this is resonating, just look for my name and body image. There's more there. All right. Mwah. Yeah.